Hi everyone, it's Phil here from Ashland Leather. I thought it'd be nice to do a color comparison of some of the lighter shell cordovan colors today. Up first, this is natural shell cordovan. This is the lightest color of shell cordovan that Horween makes, although I should say that the raw shell cordovan is slightly lighter. And what's interesting is when the natural shell cordovan gets polished, it actually turns a little bit more orange. You can see there, a little bit more lifelike as it develops that nice, shiny, bright luster. Let's compare this to the second most light color. And this is a whiskey shell cordovan piece. You can see the whiskey shell cordovan is a little bit more yellow, a little bit more golden and slightly darker when you compare it to the natural shell here. At certain angles, they do look very similar, but the natural shell cordovan is slightly more light, where the whiskey shell cordovan, I'd say, is a little bit more of a caramel sort of golden color. Let's compare this whiskey shell cordovan with my favorite shell cordovan color. This is an Amaretto piece, Amaretto shell cordovan. It's my favorite shell color, that sort of vibrant orangey tan. And this one has a really incredible color shift to it. So certain angles, you'll notice more orange tones pop out. In other angles, it reads a little bit more brown, kind of like a color 4 at some angles, which is totally fascinating. And this is one of those pieces that you can spin around and just look at different angles. Sometimes it's a little bit more red, a little bit more brown, a little bit more orange. Let's compare this one to the whiskey shell cordovan. You can see the whiskey, again, is a little bit more yellow, the Amaretto more orange, and we'll compare the Amaretto to the natural here. You should start to see a little bit more of a significant difference in these colors. And I also like to compare these next two colors, because this is a frequently asked question. This is a Garnet Shell cordovan piece on the Giant of the Fox. And the Garnet Shell is the most red color that Horween makes on a piece of shell cordovan. And this is a fascinating color. And it's hard for me to get an accurate representation in still photos because this color has such a dynamic shift in color. Certain angles, it's a little bit more red. Sort of like the Amaretto, where we get it to look a little bit more brown at some angles. Well, this one sort of ranges from color 8 shell cordovan to like a ruby red shade, which is really interesting. And I'll try to give you a nice little spin around of this. You can see it's a little bit more red at that angle, and as I turn it or angle it different ways, it starts to become more brown. And sometimes in certain lights, I actually confuse this color for color 8. Like right there, that looks pretty similar to color 8, but when you just shift it a little bit, turns a little bit more red. So this color, Garnet Shell, was also known as color number 2 for a very long time. So this was the first in its line of series from color 2, color 4, and color 8. So let's compare the Garnet Shell, also known as color 2, with the color 4 shell. And that's what I have here. This is the color 4 shell cordovan. You can see the color 4 immediately reads much more of a true brown. It's a medium brown with reddish undertones, I'd say. And what's really fun about this one is, again, sort of like the other colors, is the color shift. So I like the range here where it sort of gets a little bit more caramely, sort of little bits of yellow and orange coming through, but with also red sort of overtones. I'll give you a nice little spinorama on this one to see the color ranging here from that medium brown, reddish undertones, to sometimes a little bit more caramel, sometimes a little dark brown, like right there. You could tell me that that was color 8, and I would totally believe it. So the color 4 is very similar in some angles to the color 8, but it's definitely 5 shades lighter than color 8. All right, I've got the Parade lined up here, and we're going to start with that light natural shell cordovan piece. This is a Bugs Moran, a natural shell cordovan with a reverse interior. We currently have these on sale. I think there's only a couple left. There might be 1 or 2 left of this really nice color. If you're looking for patina, I can't suggest the natural shell with a reverse interior enough. Here's another nice piece that people are starting to pick up after I started calling it out on these videos, but this is a Giant of the Fox in 100% natural Chrome XL leather. I really, really like this wallet. I'm surprised more people don't gravitate towards this because I think that's just a really, really clean look with a buttery, rich Chrome XL on the outside here. It feels incredible, really waxy and oily and rich. On the inside, this was something that is more recent for us, the Chrome XL interiors. These are thin pieces of horse front Chrome XL. This is the same type of leather that you'll find on some Chrome XL jackets. So inherently thinner when you make Chrome XL on a horse hide compared to a steer hide, which is why we like to use it for these wallets. It helps to keep the thickness at a reasonable thickness, which is why we choose the horse fronts specifically for the Giant of the Fox interiors. And speaking of which, here's another John the Fox that's quite a bit more popular. I think this is our most popular non-shell Cordovan wallet. This is a John the Fox in 100% English tan Dublin. Really great grain character on that English tan Dublin. On the inside here, this is that horse front that I've been talking about, but this is horse front Dublin. So it's naturally and more inherently thin, those horse hides, compared to the steers, which is why you get this really great thin wallet here. And it's sometimes people confuse thinner leather as being lower quality or less durable. That is not the case from what I have seen on something like the Horween Dublin and on the Horween Chrome Excel. They do tend to last and they do look very nice. And on top of that, all of these wallets that I make, including this 100% English tan Dublin Johnny the Fox, everything is guaranteed forever. So if you ever have something rip or break, that's something that I will repair or replace for no charge. Keep the parade going here with another Dublin piece. This is a Frank the Enforcer in black Dublin. This one has been personalized for TJH. Thank you so much, TJH. Can't wait for you to have this one. You got a really nice black Dublin Frank the Enforcer coming your way. And we're going to slide in a black Chrome Excel Valet tray with a bunch of goodies. This is a comb sheath, again in that English tan Dublin. I really like these. A lot of people have been picking these up and personalizing them. We can monogram initials or names over on this side. And these are sold with a carbon fiber comb, so that's a really nice gift option. I have an Apple Watch band going out today in Color 8 reverse shell Cordovan. So you can see the reverse side is the side of this strap that will face the world, whereas the part that will touch your wrist here, this is actually Color 8 shell Cordovan on the inside. So you get super smooth shell Cordovan touching your wrist. And then that unique look of the reverse shell facing the world. And here's another watch band to show you. This is my favorite shell color, that Amaretto shell Cordovan. Really nice, vibrant, orangey tan. Some angles a little bit more brown, other angles a little bit more of that orangey vibrance comes through. Here's a key fob in that Garnet Shell Cordovan we looked at earlier. The most red shell color that Horween makes. This one earlier, we were looking at this specific piece and we thought it was Color 8 because I was looking at it at this angle. But when you tilt it and look down at it, it starts to become much more red. So that's a really good example right here of the color shift in the shell Cordovan. And the reason this is happening, I should explain this, is in the shells themselves, there are very small fibers. Although the shell feels incredibly smooth, microscopically, there's very small little bits of fibers. And it's best to think of it like a suede. So if you take the nap of a suede and brush it one direction, the color might become light. And if you're to brush the suede another direction, the color becomes a little bit darker. And that's why we're seeing the color shift on the shell Cordovan. We have a bunch of belts going out today. This one is in brown Chrome Excel leather. Take a look at this incredible piece of Chrome Excel. It's just super rich, a really nice dark sort of mocha brown color. We have all of our belts with an antique brass hardware. This one is size 38, which means that it's sized from the pin of the buckle here, where the leather wraps around the buckle, to the middle hole. That is 38 inches. So the best way to size our belts is to take your current belt and measure from that pin of the buckle to the hole that you currently use, and whatever measurement you get, that's the size belt that you should order from us. And the last one here, and this first part of the parade, this is that black Chrome Excel Valet tray. This is our original Valet tray that is square. And we do have a new XL Valet tray. It's a little bit longer and a little bit wider to fit a little bit more stuff. All right, let's keep the parade going. We have a lot of these going out today. These are very special, small batch of black marbled shell Cordovan on the Tony the Ant. And each of these are totally unique. And each person that's picking one of these up has something different from the last. So we do have a couple of these left, I think. So if you're interested in a Tony the Ant in black marbled shell, let me know, because I'd like to send you photos to make sure we get you one that has a character or characteristic that you like. Because as you can see from these two that I showed you, they're totally different. So you might see some that are a little bit more orange, some of them a little bit more yellow, some light and dark, and that pattern is all just totally random. I'll give you a look at this one, and there's one more here. And these are currently on sale too, so it's a good time to pick up a piece of marbled shell to experience what that's all about. Here's one more Tony that's on sale, and we have a lot of these going out today. I love this color 4 shell, that medium brown, reddish undertones, and the color 4 shell that we're using for these Tonys are particularly nice. They're super smooth, very rich feeling. And here we have another color 4 shell Cordovan piece, but this is on the Giant of the Fox, and this color 4 shell is paired with a mock horsehide interior on the inside. That's that sort of tan shade on the interior of the wallet. But this is the last one from our first sale for the holidays that is going out today, so you can't get these anymore. And here's a Frank the Enforcer in English tan Dublin. Take a look at that incredible piece of English tan Dublin. I love the color of this leather, that sort of orangey tan, sort of like a medium light brown, but then I love the grain character of the Dublin. If you look really closely here, you can see all the fine detail in this leather, and that's because the Dublin leather from Horween is a very naturally and aniline finished leather. And what that means is that there's no solids or paints applied to the surface of this, and the result is you can see all the way through the grain layer down to the natural character of the Dublin itself. Here's another wallet of Chrome Excel. This is actually natural Chrome Excel. Then you'll notice here, I'll give you a closer look, that the Chrome Excel is a little bit less grainy and a little bit more flat, and that's because the Chrome Excel is all very nicely polished and smooth. And you can see the result of that here. It's just a little bit nicer of a sheen, a little bit less texture than compared to the Dublin. Very clean looking Frank the Enforcer there. We have a couple more Giant of the Foxes here. This is another one that's currently on sale. I think there's only 1 or 2 left of this as well. This is the Intense Blue Shell Cordovan on the Giant of the Fox. Really nice dark blue shade. A little bit to aqua blue coming from underneath as well. This one also has that mock horsehide interior on the inside of the wallet that I really, really like. And the last wallet of the day, I know this one is going to the United Kingdom. And this customer picked out this piece of marbled black shell specifically with me because they wanted a little bit more context of the marbling from the lighter to the darker pieces of shell. So I had to show you this one. It's a beautiful shell on the outside of this. And the inside of this Giant of the Fox has a really great reverse interior. This is black reverse shell Cordovan, and you'll notice that is not remotely black, and that's because the black reverse is actually the unintended reverse side of the black shell, and they all look a little bit green. Sometimes they're darker, sometimes they're lighter. The reason it's green is because the dyes that are used from Horween, the black dyes, have a tint of green to them. And in the dyeing process for the shell Cordovan, they actually dip this whole piece of shell into a barrel of water, and that dye migrates around in the water and starts to accumulate on the reverse side and the unintended side of the shell. That's why you get that greenish look there. This is a beautiful Giant of the Fox, along with a bunch of other incredible wallets. So thanks for checking out the video. Hopefully you saw your order in the video today. I think it's really fun to be able to see some of these pieces before you get them, and selfishly for me, it's great for me to look at them and then share that all with you. So hope you enjoyed it. Until next time, hope you have a good one and take care.